Before getting into today's TMS talk, I want to give a quick reminder to myself and everyone else. Every bit of healing I have experienced, transcending drug and alcohol addiction, finding a way out of intense chronic pain, and beginning my life's work, has come as a direct result of the ability to be open-minded to new information and ideas, along with a willingness to change. Without these, God only knows where I would be today. This talk starts off with Aubrey Marcus illuminating some great points on the nocebo effect, and I am again reminded that if I believe something will harm me, it will. It reminds me of an old saying I heard from the spiritual giant David Hawkins. One man's steak is another man's poison. Oftentimes, our belief about something is more important than the thing itself. Ed Dowd then goes on to share his story of healing from depression. He reflects on how it was the recognition that depression was merely a label, and what he was really experiencing was a spiritual crisis that allowed him to take the necessary steps to heal. I found this to be a very encouraging story of how change can occur in time. Satya, Mind, Body, Spirit, Health, and Healing.
I cover your position for sure. I just want to offer another hope, which is, more metaphysical than actually any of the things we said. Is I just genuinely believe in the miraculous nature of the human body when coupled with belief. So the absolute worst thing you can do is to go into a spiral of fear and a spiral of shame and a spiral of signaling to your body that you were given poison and that you're going to die, because the nocebo effect is real. I think it was Sam Lond who it's a famous case. The doctor said, Sam, you got a tumor, you got 2 weeks to live. And he's like, oh, shit. And then he dies within 2 weeks, and then they do an autopsy and he didn't even have it. And so the nocebo effect is, and that's LONDE if you want to look that up. But the nocebo effect, which is believing something is going to harm you, is very real. And the placebo effect, which Dr. Joe Dispenza leverages to heal all kinds of different things, because of course we know it heals things. We account for it in every clinical trial. The placebo effect, which is the mind influencing the body, is start to harness those powers for yourself. Don't go down the nocebo rabbit hole. Tell yourself that you didn't get the vaccine or that you're absolutely fine. And then if you did, and even if you did have a harmful adverse event, like we have somebody on our team, a young guy who eats healthier than anybody I know, I would assume would be the absolute pinnacle of health. If I had to make a bet who was going to be the healthiest guy, he was hospitalized for 9 days with a stroke, and he's in his early 20s, after getting vaccinated. And even in those cases, even if something did happen, just actually double down, go long on the body's miraculous power to heal itself and to reverse some of these conditions, and believe that reality into existence, which is scientifically proven. It's called the placebo effect, and it's just harnessing that for your own benefit. And that would just be another thing that I would offer is really just double down on that belief system and avoid the other side of it as much as you can, while of course, don't go out and continue to take vaccines and then try to trick yourself after that. It won't work that way, but just try to be mindful of your own psychology as you move through this, which was also egregious on behalf of the doctors who kept saying, there's one doctor who said not getting vaccinated and walking around outside is like walking in front of a firing squad and hoping not to get hit by bullets. And it's like putting that amount of fear out into the culture. That's absolutely malpractice on behalf of the doctors to avoid, because they actually train doctors about placebo and nocebo effects and how to actually word things, and knowing how they word things affect the outcome of certain diagnoses. So they're actually trained in this, but for whatever reason during COVID, they ignored all of those best practices and were actually practicing psychological malpractice on the general public.
I agree. I'd like to piggyback on what you said. I have personal experience with, and part of the reason I was suspicious, I have experience with the pharmaceutical industry in the form of SSRIs. I had mild anxiety and depression that was caused by my own stinking thinking. Okay, so I went to a therapist who then got me to a psychiatrist, put me on a bunch of these pharmaceutical products, and I got worse. I became clinically depressed. And luckily, somebody in the profession pulled me aside as I was struggling with this and said, you're not depressed, you're not whatever they say you are. You basically have a spiritual malady. And I'm a psychiatrist. I take people off all these drugs. So I was a train wreck in 2011-12, and I came out of it. I'm off all drugs. And like you said, the body's a miraculous thing. I used God and spirituality. I gave up all my fears and anxieties to God, gave them over to Him. But then I also had to do my part of the bargain, which was get healthy. And I don't drink, don't smoke. I do a lot of meditation, and I do a lot of fasting. And over time, my anxiety and depression is gone. And I don't have to fear about anything anymore because I have a mindset that as long as I do the next right thing, life is going to get better and I'll be rewarded. So I don't live in fear. And the body is a miraculous healing agent as long as you get the mind and the spirit in the same direction and the avatar, the physical. So you get all three clicking, you can heal almost anything or overcome any obstacle in your life. And so anybody who's been injured by the vaccine, you get this mindset, you can get better. I guarantee you can get better.
Amen. I believe that 100% as well.
I want to make it clear that vaccines are not my area of expertise. The mind-body connection is, and I don't feel the need to push my personal standpoint on this issue, nor am I in the business of telling people what they should do. But I do feel that it is important for people to have all of the information on this, and not merely the one pushed by the mainstream media. The vaccines themselves causing the complications is one version of the story. But I want to offer another perspective from my vantage point as a mind-body-spirit guide. It is a very real possibility that many people are taking these injections when it is not within their integrity to do so, and this contradiction on a heart and soul level is what is causing the adverse reactions. Then, by word of mouth, you have people spreading a whole plethora of symptoms via mechanisms such as the nocebo effect and meme theory, which is a topic we can get into another time. It is all worth considering. I would like to encourage people to do what they feel is most true and follow their hearts. I have faith that this talk proved inspirational and will leave a link in the description for anyone who would like to get the full lowdown from Ed Dowd in his discussion with Aubrey Marcus regarding his recently published book entitled Cause Unknown: The Epidemic of Sudden Deaths in 2021 and 2022. This podcast already has well over 1 million views, so no need to feel alone if you are interested. If you found this to be meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to support and encourage future creations of this kind.